Hey, this is Kevin. Well, I finally finished my Russian army of the Crimean War, 1853 to 1856. It was quite a large undertaking. I really enjoyed it. Most people, as mentioned in my videos before, start with the British. I decided to start with the Russians. This war really fascinated me because it was the first time that they used naval explosives. The telegraph, railway was the first war that was really photographed, had unbelievable figures, and I think that, or personalities, I think that it was a war that is maybe not talked about so much, but really was a blend between modern warfare, pre the American Civil War, and the Napoleonics. So a little bit of that flair still there, but moving more towards armies that you would see later in the 1800s. So it was just kind of captivated me. So I decided that by prompting several of my friends, I decided to embark on this. Of course, Jeff Cohen was really responsible, and it's my dearest friend who I give a shout out to, out in Arizona. But this was a major project, taking three different armies and amalgamating it and forming it into one. And really, without Jeff's help, I probably wouldn't have started this undertaking. But I hope that you like it and enjoy what was put together. Hey, this is Kevin. I just thought I would showcase now a completed, well, almost completed. I have two regiments of cavalry Ulan Lancers that never arrived from Old Glory. It seems that it takes a long time to get those in from 19th century miniatures. Usually takes 6 weeks to 2 months to get anything from them. So I just decided I can't wait. I'll just go ahead and do this. Maybe I'll do an update. But I decided to paint the Crimean War. I don't know why I just got interested in it. It's a conflict after the Napoleonic Wars, 1853 to 1856. Sometimes it was called the Russian War, but it was between the Ottoman Empire and Russia, and then pulled in later Great Britain, France, and Sardinia. But it wasn't just fought in the Crimean, it was in the Caucasus, the Danube region, Anatolia, the Baltic, various other places. But I just found it to be extremely interesting and maybe a little bit apropos to today's conflict in the East. And, it really started over, Russia coveting, a European and trans-Caucasian provinces and trade routes and political influence, etc., which I totally understand. And Turkey felt, I guess, with some justification that such claims were just really merely an excuse to support, Russian imperial ambitions, etc., etc. And so it really broke out in war, I think, in October of 1853. So actually in this upcoming month. So I decided to start with the Russians. I think most people start with the British. I decided that the Russian army was probably the most difficult to tackle because it was a bit larger. And I built it so that it had mass flexibility. I can build battalions, regiments, brigades, and fight just about any conflict that's out there, whether it be the Alma or the Battle of Eupatoria, or I can do Balaclava, I can do Inkerman, and really pretty much fight even the siege of Sevastopol, just about any conflict that's there by just kind of changing the order of battle or what each unit somewhat represents. But in my opinion, just using different books that are out there. There's one that kind of helped me, and it's a little bit of an old publication. Was this one here? by Michael Cox and John Lenton, kind of give me an idea of the basic structure. And there was some other books that came out that I thought was really, really interesting, like this one here from Partisan Press. That helped me, and I've got about 2 or 3 other books on the Crimean War that I read. And so basically, if we boil it down here, well, anyway, there's customarily, that's my commander and an aide-de-camp with an artillery, 3 artillery batteries at his disposal. But this is kind of the basic unit. Each one of these is a battalion. So 2 battalions, and in 2 battalions, this is a brigade, and that now becomes a division. And there's 2 of these divisions to a corps with artillery, Jaegers in support, and cavalry. I've got 4 different hussar regiments, and I've got 2 light dragoons and 4 heavy dragoons and 4 Cossack units. And like I said, I'm missing at this particular point a couple of Ulanen regiments, but I'm sure that they'll come in at some particular time. So the figures are pretty old, and they're not new figures. They're minifigs, and they were, I think, not so easy to paint compared to newer figures today. And I think on my previous video that I was working on building this particular army, I had 3 different armies that I needed to amalgamate into one and make it look like one. And I think I achieved that. Each coat is maybe a little bit of a different color. Like you can see here, this is maybe a little bit more of a tannish color versus some of these are more of a grayish tan color, a little bit darker. The Jaegers are coming in. If they don't have a jacket, they're more in green. But I think that overall it really turned out nice, because if you're a military man, you know that uniforms coming from your government aren't always and look the same and feel the same and are the same colors. They fade over time. They have different dyes, etc. So I think that in all, the army actually turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty pleased in its production. Basically, I've got here 2 full corps of Russians, or 2.5. So two corps plus 1 division, which I think is a real meat wave if you want to use that. But you can see that the figures are, they're older casts, but I think that it works pretty nice for me. And, I made sure that in each brigade, the first brigade had red epaulets and the second one had white, because that's how they distinguish themselves. At least that's what I read. So I don't know if it's right or not, but I thought it made sense and I liked that. So, yeah, I think the army turned out very nice. I used the flag of that period. I've made my own flags. I based the army on 40 millimeter stands, 40 by 40s. And I like edging my bases in black and framing them using, a ballast material that's out of actually crushed walnuts. And I opted for kind of an arid brown grass with a little bit of green. And yeah, so three stands make up a battalion, but I can also very easily do that and say that's a larger regiment or larger unit, whatever I want to do. Cossacks came from old, I think they're Blue Moon Cossacks. They turned out, I think, pretty nicely. I like it because they had various caps, and I just painted them in what I read and saw that they, at that time, they just wore dark blue. And I painted up 2 different units, one in red and one in white. Not sure if that's correct or not, but I think it's close enough. And each unit has under its command stand written who they are, and yeah, like see, this is the Bordeaux Regiment. So I tried to do some history here and some reading, and of course I had some help from others. But anyway, that is a sizable Russian Crimean War army. Really haven't played with it yet, but I think that it turned out quite nice. As you know, I like mounting my command stands on circular bases, and tried to give it a little bit of a diorama look. So I think that turned out pretty nice. And each division commander is also smaller. Yeah, I didn't talk much about the Jaegers, so I had some of these, painted them up, and I like putting them on popsicle sticks, just because that way I can show that they're skirmishing. There's some different styles, but that just kind of works for me in the game system that I use, which for this I'll probably use 2 or 3 different ones just to try it out and see how it plays. They all are a little bit different, but well, anyway, this is the Russian army of the Crimean. I'm now starting on the Brits. French are done, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. Well, I hope you enjoyed what I've put together, and I would urge anybody that's a military historian to pick up and read a couple of books about the Crimean War. It really kind of sets the tone what happened in the later part of the 1800s, and even setting it up for World War I, and even applies to conflicts that we see today, and maybe a little bit of historical background. But I really enjoyed this period. I really have enjoyed reading about it and understanding something that I really didn't. And of course, if you see anything that was done wrong with my modeling, please let me know. Thanks.